Sri Lanka's banking sector entered 2026 on strong footing with record high profits on the back of aggressive loan growth backed by an expanding economy and low interest rates. Naturally, expectations were high and the momentum looked set to continue. But then came the Iran war shock. What followed was a policy shift as authorities stepped in to slow loan growth, limiting expansion into select segments while raising interest rates to slow the broader demand for loans somewhat. So the big question is, what these fairly new conditions would mean for banks and their performance going forward. Before we get into that, let's take a step back and look at how the banks actually performed in the first quarter before the full impact of these shocks kicked in. If you look at the top line, the net interest income rose by nearly 13% year-on-year to 142 billion rupees, supported by robust loan growth in a relatively low interest rate environment. Leading banks such as Sampath Bank, HNB and Commercial Bank continued to expand their loan books, reflecting sustained credit demand across the economy. However, the earnings growth remained subdued, with sector profits increasing by just 2.7% year-on-year. This was largely due to a notable increase in impairment provisions as banks made additional provisions against possible loan losses in view of the challenging macroeconomic conditions caused by the prolonged war in Iran. At the same time, fee and commission income remained a key strength, with strong growth across cards, remittances, trade finance, and digital banking, highlighting how much these banks have been expanding their fee income channels, going beyond their traditional role as a financial intermediary. They now contribute significantly to the bottom line and provide them with a meaningful buffer against the volatility they have to confront in the net interest incomes. Across the sector, loan growth remained broad-based, with almost all banks recording expansions. Sampath Bank led the growth, followed by HNB and Commercial Bank, although there was some notable slowing in Commercial Bank compared to the rest. Deposit growth was also strong, led by Commercial Bank. However, deposit expansion continued to lag behind loan growth, creating some pressure on funding conditions despite a gradual uptick in the deposit rates. Meanwhile, the net interest margins continued to compress as interest rates remained low while there was some uptick in the deposit rates. On the asset quality front, Stage 3 loan ratios continued to decline across most banks, supported by stronger repayment capacity and the rapid expansion in performing loans, reflecting improved asset quality. Capital adequacy, however, remained robust, with Tier 1 and total capital ratios comfortably above the regulatory minimums, providing sufficient buffers to further support balance sheet expansion. Now, let's take a look at how the developing macroeconomic conditions and the regulatory actions could bode on the banks. In late May, the central bank raised its overnight policy rate by 100 basis points to 8.75%. to contain inflationary pressures driven by higher energy prices, a weaker rupee, and strengthening demand conditions. At the same time, loan-to-value ratios on vehicle and gold-backed loans were reduced to curb excess credit growth in these segments and to safeguard collateral values. These measures are likely to slow loan growth, particularly in vehicle and gold-backed lending, while the higher lending rates could dampen the growth in loans across almost every sector. As the higher rates tend to weaken borrower repayment capacity, this could further compel the banks to set aside more for possible loan losses and thereby weighing on the profits. There could also be some weakness in asset quality given the current circumstances prolonged. In addition, rising yields may result in near-term fair valuation losses in banks' bond portfolios. On the positive side, however, the banks could reprice their loans at higher rates, resulting in higher interest incomes and thereby potentially the earnings. But we would have to see how much these developments would dent the growth in the loans and raise the loan loss provisions. Overall, while the sector remains fundamentally resilient, the shift towards tighter monetary policy and rising macroeconomic risks point to a more challenging operating environment in the remainder of 2026. For more insights like this, follow us at Capital Trust Securities.